My Republican State Senator Russell Pearce of Arizona, who wrote that legislation, as well as MSNBC political analyst Pat Buchanan, center of your screen, and Maria Teresa Kumar, the executive director of Voto Latino and an MSNBC contributor. And a welcome to the three of you.
Thank you, Alex.
Okay.
Thank you.
Senator Pearce, did you expect this kind of reaction when you wrote this bill? And if so, what do you think is the most difficult point for people to accept?
Well, yeah, the difficult point, these are anarchists. These are people that are open border folks, don't care about the law. They ignore the damage. Rob Cranston was killed on the border. Officer Erfley, Officer Atkins, Officer Martin, Officer Setkiv. I can go down the list of police officers and citizens killed and maimed by illegals. This is the same crowd. When we passed Proposition 200, just to stop voter fraud and welfare fraud, I've been sued 7 times, won 7 times. Employer sanctions, I've been sued 5 times, won 5 times. I had every expectation of these folks coming out and telling you things that aren't true. This bill does not allow the police to stop anybody that they couldn't stop before. All it does is take the handcuffs off. Sanctuary policies are illegal. We simply say in Arizona, no more catch and release. You're going to enforce the law. And we're going to make clear the states have always had the authority to enforce this law. It's just been politically weak-kneed folks who don't have the courage to stand beside their citizens. We're going to enforce the law in Arizona.
Okay, but State Senator Pearce, if there's a law already in place that allows you to do this, why not just deal with the former law? What's the problem? Why do you have to write something new?
The problem is sanctuary policies. They're illegal. Under 8 U.S.C. 1644 and 8 U.S.C. 1373, it's illegal. But we have them all over the United States. Houston is sanctuary city. 3 police officers killed by illegals. San Francisco, the poster boy, if you will, for this, 3 police officers killed by illegal aliens. Where does it end? We have an obligation to our citizens in the rule of law. This isn't about, illegal is not about race. It's a crime. We're going to enforce the laws in Arizona. We're going to stop apologizing. We're going to protect the citizens of this state. Again, the deaths, the maimings, the billions of dollars in costs, enough is enough. We're going to enforce our laws.
Okay, I'm going to get to Maria Teresa Kumar in just a moment about this because my perception is that she will be opposing this. That said, you heard the mm-hms from Pat Buchanan. Pat, what do you think about this law? And I don't want you to say you just say that you agree with it for the obvious, because people know your stance on this. What is it that you think about this law needs to be implemented now?
Well, I think the senator's got a lot of courage. The senator from Arizona we're talking with, Mr. Pearce, because the federal government has failed the country. I mean, the federal government is supposed to enforce the laws of the United States. Economically, 8 million illegal aliens hold jobs in the United States that would otherwise be held by unemployed folks we've got in this country, are 15 million unemployed.
So, Pat, if those things have not been enforced, who's not been doing the enforcing? We talk about Border Patrol, sheriffs. I mean, you talk about the federal government. Who do you think has dropped the ball?
Clearly, initially in the early Bush administration, I would blame President Bush directly for not enforcing the laws. I think he did a better job later on. I think now they're dropping the ball on the security fence. But let me say this: the senator here has an outstanding point. These are American police officers who are being gunned down and killed by people who are breaking our laws, breaking into our country. For heaven's sakes, the safety of the people is the highest law, and the senator's trying to write legislation because of the failure of the federal government that will help Arizona protect its own peace officers. I don't understand how you can oppose this.
Maria Teresa Kumar, can you oppose it on that point?
I think that everybody is in agreement that we need to secure our borders and we need to make sure that all American citizens and residents are here, are safe. And that's not a problem. The problem with the legislation is that it's going to disproportionately target, unfortunately, American Latinos as well. We don't know who's here undocumented, but we do know that we're encouraging racial profiling. And I'm just trying to figure out what the strategy is, because back in 1993, Pete Wilson tried to do the exact same thing with Proposition 187.
In California, right?
In California.
Right.
And what that did is that it politicized the Latino community like you never saw. I mean, Latino Republicans in Arizona are organizing and telling the governor, if you pass this legislation, literally their words are saying, we're going to smoke you out. So, Maria, 17% of the voting population.
Maria, what do you expect?
That's not true.
Well, very quickly, though, I want to ask you what she expects will happen as a result of this from Latino voters. And do you think it crosses whether or not on a bipartisan situation? I'm asking this of Maria.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part, but what I think...
Latino voters, be they Republicans or Democrats, what will they do if this law passes and is signed as of Saturday by the governor of Arizona?
The Latino Republican Party already has said that they're going to go and literally their words was, we're going to smoke her out, the governor of Arizona. And it's because they're upset, and they have very reason to be upset, because Arizona right now is, and I completely agree, I'll send you the statement. It's definitely true. And this is what's disturbing, though, is that we're talking about generations of American Latinos. You don't know if someone is undocumented just by looking at them. You simply don't. A grandmother can go for a walk, and if she gets stopped and doesn't have her papers, you're talking about incarcerating her.
Alex, I had to show ID getting on a plane on Monday. I had to show a draft card when I was a kid. You got to have your baptismal certificate to play football. Your whole life, you've got to have some kind of identification. If you don't, the cops say, "What are you up to?" They'll take you in if you don't show some kind of
baptismal certificate to play football. Really?
How many times have we all ran to the store and forgotten our ID?
All right. There's really some misinformation here.
Okay,
and first
Senator
of all,
Pearce, I'm so out of time, but give me one thing that you believe is information.
Well, most of it that she said is untrue. First of all, we have a civil rights provision in the bill. We guarantee it. You cannot use race and ethnicity. We're simply taking the handcuffs off law enforcement. And 60% of Hispanics support this bill. 60%. The misinformation must stop. We're going to enforce the law. We're not going to apologize. And the open border anarchists are not going to run the state of Arizona.
Okay, that's going to have to be a wrap for right now. Clearly, this is something that warrants a lot more conversation. Anybody envious of the president right now? All right, Republican State Senator Russell